Hi and welcome to this week's angel reading. I'm Rachel Scoltock and I'll be with you for the next 20 or so minutes. I'm going to be doing a 3-card reading for you with several decks of cards that I have here. Hi Kathy, lovely to see you. And then I'm going to be talking about why it's so important to honor the sacred in your life. So I just want to check, Kathy, seeing as you're here, can you hear me okay? Just send me a little message. Before I start, I've just moved things around a bit, so sometimes that results in a little bit of a shift with the machinery. So I'm going to be pulling some cards for you, and I'm really working closely with the archangels at the moment and working with sacred geometry, working with light, and thanks Kathy, and working with really understanding from the angels and archangels how each of us can lift the amount of light that's in our lives so that we can rise above that heaviness, the challenges that that we've been through, and really start to manifest, a flow in our lives. So as I said, I'm working with 3 decks of cards, but I'm really guided to work with the archangel cards today. And then I'm going to give you a little bit of an insight about how you can honor the sacred in your life. And we'll do a little healing there to connect in with that. Hey, Tyler. Hi, Joy. So reading first, because I know lots of people have less time on their hands, and so they like to get the reading and then they can watch the rest of it later. Excuse me. I've had a very strange morning this morning, but not in a bad way. But I started off not being able to find my car keys, so that I couldn't go and do the yoga where I usually do it. And as I was searching high and low for my keys and hoping I hadn't put them in the bin or something silly, as the bin men had been in the morning, I had this sudden realization that I wasn't supposed to go anywhere. So I ended up having a phone call with a lovely friend, and then the post person came. I had to sign for a parcel, and the lovely lady that delivers the mail. And it was a really important parcel that I was so excited to receive. So, it would have been a hassle if I hadn't. So everything happens for a reason, right? Even the delays. It's a good lesson that even the delays sometimes are divinely guided, and we have to trust. And then as soon as we get into that trust, we let go enough in order for what's meant to happen to come in. But while we're fighting with it, we're creating a wall of resistance with ourselves. So more on that later. So let's pull you your cards for the week ahead. Hi, Vicky. Thanks for joining us live here. So I'm doing all of my reading lives on the business page now. Facebook has some rules about using personal pages for business, but it's also just a bit smarter to do it this way because it makes it more professional, I guess. Even though it's much easier to reach people through a personal page. So I'll be sharing this on my personal page, but if you want to see it live, join this page. And as a follower, hi Stacey, it must be evening there wherever you are in the Northern Hemisphere. It's midday, just after here. So let's ask what guidance the angels have for you for the week ahead. And I'm really feeling Archangel Raziel with us today. And Raziel sometimes appears as a being with a really long white beard. Even though he looks so youthful, he's got the long white beard, and it's representative of the wisdom he carries as a divine being. So he carries the wisdom of the ages. He carries the wisdom that's within each of us, as in the wisdom we've gathered that's in our own souls, our own Akashic records. For every lifetime, we gain knowledge, we gain wisdom, and we need that knowledge and wisdom. Our soul needs it. It brings us closer to God. So we mustn't forget that our lifetime isn't just about the material and getting things done and the to-do list and your hair and, all those things. It's also to do with the spiritual, that we're here to be, we're here for a very important mission. And partly we've got physical things we have to do, otherwise we wouldn't be in a physical body. But it's the gaining of wisdom and knowledge that's important. So thanks for joining us. So Raziel is with us. Now, Raziel also helps us to understand our past lives He helps us to understand our dreams, and also he translates some of the more difficult spiritual concepts so that we can absorb them. So if you're struggling with a concept like divine abundance, you can call on Archangel Raziel to help you to understand your physical mind, your emotional, physical side, to release the blocks that are creating your misunderstanding or your confusion. So that goes for anything: forgiveness, compassion, trying to understand why people behave the way they do. You know, there's always a reason, even if it's not a reason that we would agree with. There's always a reason, and it's really helpful. It helps us to have wisdom and compassion if we can see that there is a reason, and they're not just, we don't label them just as evil or wrong. Hi, Kate. Hi, Ariane, Janice, Helen. Thanks for joining. I'm so glad I'm not just talking to myself over here. Okay, so angels, what do you have for us? Right, so they're not even waiting for me to pull cards. So one of your messages this week is that to start looking for the deeper meaning, the deeper understanding behind the problems that currently have you. So if you're struggling with something at the moment and you're wondering, why is this in my life? And, sometimes it's an ego thing that we get caught up in the why, because that's the self-pity side of us. When we go, why me? Why is this happening to me? Like that's not a wisdom-seeking why. That's a victimhood why. But if we really go, okay, I really want to understand what could be the spiritual meaning behind this? What is it, the lesson I'm meant to be learning? It might be just a very small spiritual lesson in your view, but it's something that your soul needs. And when you get it, it just disappears, it dissolves, something happens and helps you through it. I've had that happen to me so often, where I've struggled with something and then it just sort of, I get it, and it just goes poof and disappears. And often the act of struggling is the thing that holds us onto it. I try to teach people about detachment and letting go, and it gets confused with giving up. And that's not what it is. It just means releasing your attachment to it, or what your brain and your ego has invented about something. You're getting loads of wisdom today from the angels. This isn't me. Okay, one card from, okay. So this is for your week ahead. My first card in my readings is your present situation, what's going on for you right now, what the angels want you to know now, here, today, the very day that you're watching this. And this can also be influenced by the past. So first you've got Archangel Michael. Don't we love an Archangel Michael card? Archangel Michael is the angel that helps to clear us with that sword he's holding onto. It's a sword of light. He clears away confusion, attachment, over-attachment, fear, ego, negative energy that connects us to things. So when you're holding on to something from the past, you've got a cord to it. And that cord is made up of all of the hurt, the betrayal, the sadness, the anger, the resentment. You can't carry that stuff around and be a fully functioning spiritual sacred being. It's going to trip you up. It's going to pull you down. It's going to put walls around you when you're trying to manifest abundance. So you've got to do the clearing, get Archangel Michael to do clearing, but also you've got to change your attitude. But it really helps when the energy moves. That's one of the wonderful things about an energy and angel therapist, is that I've learned that by moving the energy, you're also changing the psychology. You're changing if the person's open to that, you're changing the emotional state of someone. So you don't necessarily have to go in mentally. You need to know what it is, but you don't have to go analyzing it for ages. So this message is crystal clear intentions. And doesn't it look crystal clear, this picture? He's got the orb of light around him, the halo, which we all have, by the way. I've seen that around people. Everyone, has that energy of light around them. So he's telling you to be crystal clear when you're asking spirit, angels, for anything that you want. What is it that you want? I told a wonderful story this week on my Instagram, and I will share it on Facebook. And if I've got time today, which I probably don't, I will talk about it. But it was someone that was trying to manifest something. And she really, suddenly one day she'd been asking the angels, she got an idea. I'm going to put it out there on social media, and I'm going to ask people to help me. And she felt guilty at first, but then she pushed that aside and went, no, I feel guided. I'm just going to say it. So she put it out there. Within 2 days, she had manifested the thing that seemed out of reach before. It was something really expensive. She manifested it. It was there, done. Relatives had offered money. Someone even gave her this thing, but it was an old version and she couldn't use it. But then it happened and she got the new one. So be really super clear. Are you being clear with spirit? Are you sitting at home and going, oh, I wish I had this, or I wish that would happen? But what you really need to do is say, okay, angels, spirit, and people, this is what I need. Can anyone help me? Be clear. Be clear. If you're not clear, it takes for bloody ever to get there. I know this. I did this with moving house. I was like, shall I do this or shall I do that? Shall I do this? I don't know if I want to do it yet. Until one day I just went, this is what I want today, now, here, today. And within 6 hours, I had it. The guidance is the nurture card. Now look at this first. Look at the picture. We've got a little baby being nurtured by 4 angels. It's, look how totally relaxed this baby is. This is the way the angels want you to be about your manifestation. They don't want you getting into stress and strain and struggle and wrestle with it, because that actually puts blocks around your energy. What I'm actually seeing psychically as I say that is like an echidna or a porcupine or even a cactus plant, right? What do those spikes say? They say, stay away from me. That's what the porcupine uses when it's in fight or flight. It says, spikes are up, nothing's going to eat me. If it eats me, it's going to get prickled terribly. It's its defense system. So what is it in your defense system that is making you push away the things that you actually want? Do you need to open your heart? Do you need to drop your defenses? Do you need to change your tone of voice? Do you need to change defensiveness in some way? How does your defensiveness come out? Do you get sarcastic? What happens to you? You know yourself. Maybe that's a journaling subject. So the subject of this card is nurture, and it's Archangel Gabriel. So we've got Michael and Gabriel. So Gabriel is asking that you nurture yourself as a child. What is it you need? Fulfill your own needs. Get relaxed. Do what you need to do to bring your cortisol and adrenaline levels down, so you're not like in fight or flight. Do stuff, even if it feels against the grain, even if it feels like, oh God, I haven't got enough money, I can't do that. Do that. You'll find a way. You can manifest it. If you need a massage, ask a friend. Book a half hour instead of an hour, or just treat yourself and know that the universe will always, when something is done that's guided with intention, the money will always come back to you. Don't go into debt, but you can do that for yourself. Do anything, walking in nature, deep breathing, meditation. It's time to bring it down so your cortisol can switch off, your adrenaline can switch off. You'll even lose a bit of weight when you do that without really trying. And then the angels can get past those prickles and come in and help you. Outcome. So center card is always the guidance. What's the action you need to take? What do you need to do? What do you need to know? So you've obviously not been being clear, but clearly here, all of a sudden, clarity is going to come. Look at the angel on the mountaintop, the rainbow, the clouds. You've got everything going on there. You've got the signs. You've got a sign that you're going to be elevated in your energy, which is what the question that I always ask. You're going to raise your vibration. You're going to be able to hear and see and feel what those messages are for you. Look out for signs, symbolic, like the rainbow is an amazing sign, but also it's a sign of signs to come. So signs that are very clear about what you should do. So when you really pull your nervous system down, your claircognizance will start working, which is divine ideas, wisdom dropping in. I call this the downloading the downloading intuitive channel. It's when you get ideas that just drop in out of nowhere, thoughts that repeat, which incidentally was one of the messages I put on Instagram this morning about pay attention to your guidance, because it will always be repetitive, positive, and it will be right for you. You'll know it's right for you. It may be a bit anxiety inducing because it will take you out of your comfort zone, but it won't be toxic. It won't be something that's totally against your character or doesn't fit in with your guidance. That's your ego, right? When you hear those kind of things, that's your ego voice. Let me just check in and see who else is here. Hi, Nectaria. Hey, Natalie's here. Diane. Bridget's here. Hey. So it's about, this one is Archangel Uriel. So Uriel holds the lantern in the darkness that helps you to move forward with your life. So this is when the guidance is going to come in, when you calm yourself down. Now, I also pulled a card from the Kyle Gray deck, which is Autumn, Release the Old and Rest. So you've got a double up here of 2 cards telling you to slow down, rest, sort of take it down a notch so that you can allow the energy to come in that you need. You can't run a car on no petrol and no oil, right? What happens to it? You just screech to a halt somewhere really, really inconvenient. So you can't run yourself on no energy. The life force energy that's around you isn't the same as the adrenal energy that keeps, is like the overwhelm, the stress, the too much to do, the caffeinated energy. That's not energy. That's not the energy we're meant to be running on, though mostly lots of people do. The energy we're meant to be running on is our life force energy that streams down from divine source. So you've got to make time for that. And it seems counterintuitive when you're running on that adrenal energy to slow down or stop, because your ego fear mind has got control of you at that time. And your ego fear mind will be like, don't stop. You're going to miss out. Something's going to go wrong. They can't, the world won't function without you if you have a break. That's your ego, because it's not healthy. It's not giving, deep down, this deep down. I really believe that deep down, everybody really knows what's right and what's wrong. We may not exactly specifically know the next step or what our angel's guidance is, but we do have an inner knowing about when we're hurting ourselves or when we're actually nurturing ourselves. So this one's a beautiful one. I love the crow. I really do. Lots of people don't like him, but I do. He, in some belief systems, he represents the crossing of over the veil, the messages from spirit or from our deceased loved ones, or even just lets us know that there's magic in the air, or that spirit is trying to get our attention. I think, Natalie, I often hear the crows when we're talking. Hi, Rosie, and Tia, and Veronica. We've got a few people, and Rebecca, hi. So there's your cards for the week. I always want to get those out of the way first now, because I know that I do go on a little bit longer than usual. And what I wanted to talk to you about is honoring the sacred in your life. I'm just going to put these away so I can see my notes. So it's really important. That was the message that came through to me when I said, angels, what is it that you want me to talk to everyone about today? And they said, honor the sacred, which I think really matches with the reading that we've had, especially with the Nurture Yourself card. So when you honor the sacred within you, you're honoring the part of you that is eternal. It's your soul, it's your spirit, it's your energy field, your energy system, your chakras, and the part of you that has the inner wisdom, that has the intuition, and the part of you that connects with spirit, with soul, which is home, so that you can call in the things that you need, and you can ask for healing, and you can ask for abundance and things like that. So we spend a lot of time honoring our material world, I think, and we don't even maybe realize it, that we're getting out of balance. So when we honor the sacred, we're bringing the balance in, but we're also doing exactly what the message was for us today, is that we're energizing ourselves and we're protecting our energy. The more of the sacred divine light that you call on when you meditate, when you walk in nature, when you speak to your angels, when you use prayer, you're adding extra layers of light to your being. And it's the light that protects you. So then it also helps to raise your vibration and all of those things. But it's the light that protects you. So it protects you from, it's part of your psychic, spiritual, immune system. It protects you from illness and accidents. It protects you from negative energy from other people, so that you don't get overwhelmed by the fear in the world. And so we have to make room and time in our lives for honoring the sacred, whether that's, you know, a daily practice. And I really recommend a daily practice, like, I know everyone's busy, but a meditation, or building yourself a little altar and having, like, I don't know if you can see my shelves behind me, I change it all the time, but there's candles, there's crystals, there's loved ones, there's flowers on it. It's become my altar unwittingly. I always needed one, and now it's a multi-shelved one, because it's a place where when I light a candle, I just send out love, and it's a center in my home for that. And you can make that. I remember years ago when I didn't have much money, I just had a cardboard box with a sarong over it, and a candle and a shell and a crystal and a few things like that. You can do it as big or as little as you want. But it's really about making time for sacredness, which then washes over into self-love. And that's the fuel that you need when we talk about running your car on empty, is when you're running on empty, and it's not necessarily that you need food or you need sleep. You can still feel kind of flat and yucky and tired, depressed, anxious, because what you're running empty on is the sacred energy, the energy of the divine. I don't know if you, am I making sense? So this is about bringing your life into harmony with the spiritual and the physical. And I think with phones and, you know, mobile phones and internet and big to-do lists and big missions that we have to do, that we can really easily get pulled away from the sacred, and we forget that our soul, our heart, is craving this energy. And that's when I think this is a compassionate universe, because when we get sick, when something happens that doesn't feel good or doesn't feel right, we have an inner knowing that something's out of balance somewhere, and it makes us sit still and think about it. So even though it's inconvenient, it's horrible when maybe you get a cold, or you know, I twisted my ankle when I was moving home, and that was such a sign for me, because I've been going like a bat out of hell, trying to do too many things at the same time, and, you know, twisted my ankle, and it really made me slow down. I couldn't go for my morning walks for a few weeks, because it was the universe's final kind of thing of saying, you know, you've got to start listening to this, because it's affecting you physically. So never see physical things. I know Kathy had something recently, and it didn't you, and that slowed you down, and that made you think. It really makes us stop and go, okay, where am I not in balance in my life? So I just wanted to flag that up for you, because there's a lot of fear in the world at the moment. If we watch TV, or I don't even watch the news, but somehow it filters to me, that energy is heavy and dark when they're talking about violence, they're talking about racism and prejudice, and talking about all the scary things that the, you know, news people talk about. That energy is like a black cloud that can seep in to your energy and your home and slowly start to bring you down. And it's really important that you've got to have a defense against stuff like that. And you can't just say, okay, I'm going to put white light around me and get on with my day. That's helpful, but it can only go so far. You've got to start to become more conscious and become more connected, and bring more of a balance in, where you're calling in the light, you're talking with your angels, you're lighting a candle, you're pulling yourself an angel card, you're, you know, opening your intuition and learning about your soul and what your soul lessons are, so that you've actually starting to build an energy of light around you that's not just something that you put on like a coat every day. It's coming from above and within you. It's like a really good immune system, and it protects you against the heaviness and the darkness. And I really believe that the angels wanted me to talk about this, because as each of us does that, our lights begin to get brighter. Those lights join with other lights, and ridiculous things like building walls to prevent people crossing borders begins to become something that hasn't got as much strength, if you know what I'm saying. So you know, we want more light in our lives. We don't want darkness in our lives. And if we're tuned into our intuition, if we're releasing our resentments and forgiving and letting go of the past, if we are having a daily practice where we connect in to who we really are and that spiritual side, and we call in our angels, where we start to step away and get a greater awareness about how to heal the things that are dark and heavy. And we start to attract a higher vibration of positive people, experiences, abundance to support us. We start to become more of a light-filled community instead of just lots of individuals wondering what the heck to do about all of the fear and the negative energy in the world. So that's just my little message for today. I may write a little bit more about it in the blog a little bit later. Cassandra says that she broke her toe 3 weeks ago. Wow, that I can imagine how much that hurts, because yesterday I kicked my toe while I was on a boat, and oh my gosh. So breaking it, yeah. So that's a message to slow down, do you think, Cassandra? Kristen's here. Hi, Kristen. Thanks, Cassandra. She says she's understanding me. Brilliant. So lots of love to you. I'm going to try and do more of these, so keep an eye out. I think there's a notification you can click and say that you would like to know when I come on live. And I'm going to talk more in future sessions about how to honor the sacred in your life in individual ways. And hopefully that will help you and help us all. You know, when one of us drops our heaviness and shifts to a greater awareness, and we have more light around us, we actually, without even trying, we're doing our light work. We're helping the world. We're increasing the amount of light on the planet. And that's, you know, against the balance of what we call fear or darkness. So think about what you say and do, and think and ask yourself, am I creating more light with this, or am I creating more darkness? And maybe you'll hesitate before sharing something that is fearful or doesn't contribute to the light in the world. So sending you lots and lots of love. I do have a place on my Rich Radiant Angel program that is available right now. This is a private coaching and healing immersion where you're working with the angels, with energy, me psychically, guidance. And it's like a coaching. I'm helping you to let go of the beliefs and the things that are sabotaging you in your life from receiving greater abundance, happiness, and peace. So it's a 6 or 12-week program. And there's lots of support material like mantras and meditations and invocations that can really help you. And we can even create a daily practice for you that's going to help you to honor the sacred in your life. So please get in touch if you're interested in that. I'm just about ready to put out my Rich Angelic Alchemy program, which is a group program. So this is going to be learning about intuition, connecting with angels, signs and guidance, and it's a small group so that I get to coach you individually, but we'll be meeting as a group. It's all about angels, alchemy, manifesting. I'm about to launch that. I'm a bit excited about it. So you'll see more about that soon. But if you want to get on that, there's only going to be 10 places. So you'll have to let me know. Lots of love to you. Have a great week. Mwah. Angel blessings.